Say probably three main obstacles. The first one is the market is very consolidated in South Africa, so they often talk about the CIA, Coronation, Investec and Allan Gray dominating the asset management industry, and I think that's very difficult for smaller asset managers to break that stranglehold on the industry. So I think to some extent the challenge that some of the smaller asset managers face is just profile in the asset management industry amongst the very large distribution businesses in South Africa to get a share of voice. The second one would be operational complexity. I think with increased regulation, technology, demanding clients, as international investors come into this market, also looking for South African asset managers, they have a higher standard. I think the operational complexity and the operational due diligence that clients are doing on their asset managers has gone up, and so it's just become harder for smaller businesses to be able to prove to its client base that it has the operational requirements required for a larger client. And I think finally distribution, it's South Africa is quite a unique market in that while the distribution is sort of open architecture in many instances with the IFA market, it's also very closed because some of the large banks and insurance companies have quite a big lock on the distribution market. So I think for smaller asset managers, cracking particularly retail distribution is very difficult. So RMI, what we hope to do is to be able to help independent asset managers to take on the CIA by helping them with strategic initiatives, operational improvements and distribution. Yeah, look, there's no doubt asset management is a crowded space. I think it's crowded globally. It's crowded in South Africa. However, we think that it's still a very attractive industry for good intellectual capital and entrepreneurs to work. It's a very capital light industry. The markets are a fascinating place. And I think unlike historically where much of the good talent would arrive at a bank or an investment bank to go and work, I think with the increased regulation in the banking industry and in fact the insurance industry, I think the lighter touch regulatory environment of the asset management industry is a good place to reflect your talent as an investor. So we're still very bullish or positive on the active asset management industry. We think that active managers can still sustainably over time, even after fees, add value to clients. I think what's going to happen though is fewer and fewer of them will be able to do that. So what we're going to try and do at RMI is make sure that the managers that we back, our affiliates, are those managers that are going to stand out from a very crowded market. And I think the other thing, as you know, is we've bought a stake in an index or passive business called Core Shares. And I think we also believe, that over time in South Africa, passive will play a bigger part in the South African savings industry than they have in the past. And Core Shares is our play on the emergence of the passive trend in the South African market.